Hi guys, it's Bobby with MMA UK, and I am here with the Maori kid JJ. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. What about yourself?
As good as you can be at the minute, just stuck at home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I actually had this interview arranged, you didn't have a fight booked that I was aware of, and now, just in a few days, you're going to be taking on Carvalho, which is a big fight for you.
Yeah, definitely. He's probably my biggest fight to date.
It's definitely a big jump in competition himself. Obviously, just coming off of a title fight with the current champion Pitbull. So, how did this fight come about? Were you offered it in quite short notice, or has it been in the works for a while?
Um, I was looking to actually fight in May, and I actually asked for Pedro Carvalho. I thought it would be a good step up for me. I think I had the tools to beat him. So, you know, and Bellator said, well, he's available April. So, I jumped on that. I said,
Yeah,
okay, let's do it. So, we've had some time to prepare.
that's good. Cause I mean, that's the warrior spirit. You got to jump in as and when you can.
Exactly. I've taken fights on a day notice. I've taken fights the day of. It's if you're in the fight game, your job is to fight.
That's what you got to do.
So if an opportunity gets placed in front of you, if you're a fighter, you're gonna take it. If you're not a fighter, you're gonna make excuses.
Very much so. And obviously, I know you did in your fight before last. There were some weight issues in your most recent fight, though none whatsoever. And are you still working with the same nutritionist? Is still the same company?
Definitely. I'm working with John Poppy from Lockhart.
Mm.
I'm still working with him, and he makes my weight cuts easy. The weight cuts are never easy,
Yeah,
but he makes it flow smoothly. You
it's,
know,
it's as nice as it can be.
yeah, it's as nice as a weight cut can be. I've cut weight. I've been fighting the same weight since I was 16. I've been fighting 145 since I was 16 years old, and I've had quite a lot of fights since then, and I've tried lots of different strategies, and it's definitely the nicest way to do it.
I mean, you say about your experience. I mean, you are only 23 at the minute. You are already a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and you're about to have your eighth professional fight. I mean, your extensive grappling, do you think that's going to really play a factor in this fight with Carvalho coming up?
I think my grappling is way superior than Pedro Carvalho's grappling, so I think it's going to play a major part if we wind up if we wind up grappling. I'm gonna come out on top every time. So I think he's gonna be wanting to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, you yourself, you've been touted by a lot of different sites, a lot of different media outlets as one of the top people to watch in Bellator, one of the top prospects. Do you think a win over Carvalho would take you from being a top prospect to a fully fledged title contender?
Definitely, I think this fight will people will know my name, and they'll consider me a contender for moving forward from either the next fight or the following fight for the title. I'll change from a prospect to the number one contender. Definitely.
To to the guy, you'd be the guy after that one.
Exactly.
Of course, over the last sort of few years, there's been a massive rise in Kiwi fighters just storming it. Obviously, there's always been a big kickboxing community in New Zealand, but with people like Volkanovski, Adesanya, Cara France, huge
Mm.
names coming out of New Zealand. Can you see yourself being that New Zealand star for Bellator?
100%. When I was living in the gym back in New Zealand, I was watching Kai France fighting in Thailand. I was watching Volosky fight um, multiple places. I was watching Israel Adesanya fight in King of the Rings. He was, knocking. I'd watch him go out there, fight three guys in one night, knock all of them out, and then come back the next week and do it again. So within a week, he had, like 6 or 7 fights and all knockouts. So I'm definitely taking that same spirit and I'm using it in Bellator.
Of course, and the Bellator featherweight division, it's probably one of the most exciting divisions Bellator have at the minute. I mean, with the Grand Prix coming to its end, there's going to be a lot of people looking to try and get more fights. Are there any other featherweight bouts coming up that you've got your eye on? Oh, you've obviously got the title fight. You've got Adam Boric taking on Jeremy Kennedy. Those are two other big prospects. Who are some of the other guys you're sort of keeping an eye out for?
Yeah, I'm definitely watching that Adam against Jeremy fight. That's probably one of the biggest ones that is happening right now. Depending on how this Grand Prix goes and what happens in that fight, they'll probably decide my next opponent. You know,
Yeah.
and then from there we'll be looking for a title shot.
That's the way you got to look at it. And just one thing. So going back to your most recent fight, obviously extensive grappling credentials. A lot of your wins have come by submission. But in your last bout, to get that out cold KO in 20 seconds, what has that done? Has that sort of made you think, I'm a much more complete fighter. I'm not just like a jiu-jitsu guy. I can go out there and I can strike with the best of them.
So, not a lot of people know in New Zealand I had a lot of kickboxing fights. I fought some really tough kickboxing. In New Zealand we have some of the best kickboxing in the world. I fought a guy named Koei Teranaki. I fought other really tough fighters from New Zealand. So I knew I always known that I've had striking. Um, I just felt like my grappling was way more superior. So I feel like find the easiest way to win and you do that. And
Yeah.
obviously, all these guys I've been fighting, I knew my jiu-jitsu was way superior than theirs. So I would go out there and I would use that to win. But this was the first fight that came out, and I was like, well, I think I'm gonna knock him out. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna stop this. So and then I went out there and I did that. So I think that will put the whole division on notice. Like okay,
Yeah.
not only can he submit you, he has knockout power, and he's going to finish you in a devastating fashion if he gets the opportunity. So that's definitely something that will daunt on them, and I think that's something that will daunt on Pedro Carvalho because he just got finished by Pitbull, and it was a devastating knockout. So I feel like when you get knocked out, that's always in the back of your mind. You can't shake that out, So
Yeah.
I think that's a big mental game for him. So I'm going to be looking to exploit that fact.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the fight and I'd seen your fights previously and I knew your grappling credentials. So when I saw you storming forward, I was like, okay, takedown. And then that right hand just came out of nowhere and just we were sat there like, oh, that's a whole nother thing these guys have got to worry about now. Like they're so worried about waiting for that takedown to come that just don't even think about that big hellacious right coming over and finishing the fight early.
Exactly. You got. I feel like you got to keep everyone guessing. You got to play your cards right.
Yeah, you don't want anyone solving the puzzle like, oh, I've
No.
got to do this. You got to keep them on their toes. A little bit off topic. I know one of your other passions, big one, and I've seen it on your Instagram, is your love of jewelry and selling jewelry.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So I've always liked gold. Well, I think everyone does.
A lot of people do, yeah.
And I went and I got my girl an engagement ring because we got engaged, and that kind of
Congratulations.
thank you. And that kind of sparked my interest. I walked in there and I was putting on all these fat Cubans, diamonds, and everything. So I decided to educate myself on it, and then I partnered up with a jewelry business, a jewelry company, and now I'm just specializing in making custom pieces because I like to design stuff. I like to come up with ideas and have it designed, and yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And then now I'm just focusing on making people custom pendants, custom rings, that kind of avenue.
It's good to see. It's always good to see when there's more than just the fighter. You got, I mean, someone like Ally Quinter obviously is known as being this, he's a real estate guy on the side. But I think
Yeah,
custom jewelry, that's pretty gangster. That's a pretty damn cool thing to have on the side hustle as well.
definitely, definitely. And also something else we have in the works right now is we're starting to make beer.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so I partnered up with a brewery, and we're just developing. They got the recipe. They're just making it. I'm going to announce it after the fight, but it's going to be called the Warrior, and it's going to be a big. It's going to be IPA. So
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of that.
yeah, so that's something else we have in the works.
That's good to. I mean, we like our beer in the UK, so I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for that one.
Definitely. Same in New Zealand. It's everyone's got a couple beers everywhere. You got,
I've
Title
somewhere in
Remastered.
this room, I've got a 6 pack of Darren Till's Raw Dog. I don't know where it is, but I know it's in here.
you know, Title Remastered
Yeah,
does
come on,
the shui right after
love
the
it.
fight. Oh man, it's
I can't
awesome.
watch it because I know where my shoes have been, and I don't want to think about anyone
Oh,
drinking a
and,
beer out of that.
yeah, and you got to spin it.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you get this shoe, you spit in it, and then you pour the drink, and then you drink the drink.
Oh,
It's
man,
the
I
spit
like.
that usually drives people away.
Well, I didn't know that. Now, I mean, that's added a whole. I mean, I used to play rugby, so rugby culture, that sort of thing's no shock. But
Oh,
it's still every time you see it, you're like, God damn.
oh yeah. I grew up playing rugby since I was 5 years old. So it's like all that kind of crazy, funny stuff is like it's New Zealand culture, right?
It's
Unfortunately.
it's part. Well, I mean, yeah, it's part of the fun. It's part of what makes rugby a great sport.
Exactly.
So obviously, you say you played rugby. Are there what other sort of sports do you still like play other sports in your spare time, or are you pretty like jujitsu, fighting, and
Yeah,
done?
I put all my energy towards jiu-jitsu. I'm training 2, 3 times a day and then teaching. It gets difficult to put my energy anywhere else, but I do a lot of spearfishing. That's
Oh,
something that,
damn.
yeah. So I go out there and yeah, I love spearfishing. So we go out, hunting for yellowtail and tunas and reef fish, and it's super fun, man. I got my breath hold up to like 3.5 minutes now. Yeah, but
Man,
it's
that's
fun.
insane.
It's super fun. What? Just recently I dove down. The visibility wasn't that great, and it was a big 7 gill shark down. It was like a 7 foot 7 gill shark, and I was like, oh, we swam out. It was a shore dive. We swam out, and it was like I was a mile out. I was like, God damn, I gotta swim a mile knowing that there's a shark under me to get back to shore. It's kind of fun though.
Well, it makes it a bit more exciting. I mean, it gives you an incentive to really start swimming.
Yeah, and especially when you have a couple fish hanging off the side of your hip too. It's like, oh,
You
you
just
know.
dragging a variety KFC bucket behind you.
Exactly. I'm
Yep.
dragging a KFC bucket. Like, um, I hope you don't come eat these, but the sharks are opportunists, so they're gonna jump on any opportunity that they can, but they're not but if they think you're a predator, they're not gonna attack you.
No, I
So
mean the sharks. I mean, obviously they're scared. They're not that violent. They're pretty calm,
yeah, they're
unless you
opportunists,
exactly.
if it's easy, they'll take it, but if it's not easy, so I see the shark and I'm like, okay, pretend to be a prey, but then you watch Jaws. Right, you go like, I don't know about that. The thing's pretty big. He's got pretty big teeth. I don't know.
So it's always when I talk to people in like Cali and in Australia and all these places, because I'm in England, like the seagulls, that's what we got to worry about on the beach. We got none of that shark stuff. And you say, yeah, I was diving and I saw these sharks. It's like, what? Like, it's
Yeah,
just
no, you see them quite a bit up here. The baby great whites, they come up close to shore, because they get eaten by the big ones, you know. So
Yeah,
they go shallow water so they don't get eaten.
that's a brutal world. But speaking of brutal, obviously, do you have an actual prediction for your fight coming up? How would you like, in an ideal world, to finish this fight?
First round submission.
Beautiful. I'll be on the lookout for that one. But anyway, I understand you're still in the middle of a weight cut. Can't thank you enough for taking a bit of time out to chat to us today. It's been great. I mean, we got a bit off topic with the Sharks, but I don't care. It's a good laugh.
Yeah, no, no. I'm I always kind of go off topic, you know.
It's boring. You get asked the same questions. How do you see the
Exactly.
fight? A bit like it's good. It's good to talk about something a bit different every now and again.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But anyway, man, good luck with your fight. Thank you very much for talking to me today. Good luck with the weight cut, and I will be watching. Best of luck, buddy.
Thank you very much, man. You have a good day.
You too, man. Thank you.
Bye.